Everybody, Tuesday morning, it is March 11th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
And I'm Gus Rosendale in for Michael. Adelle Caballero checking those roads and those rails. Storm Team 4's LaRosa here with the forecast. And it's a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's quiet. The winds aren't too bad. It is chilly in spots, so we're talking about a nice mild afternoon, but you still want that jacket. And of course, roadways are dry. We have Times Square looking bright and dry. Temperatures in Midtown in the mid-40s. But yes, so chilly in other spots from Pocahontas at 35, West Milford 29 degrees. Passaic, you're coming in at 41 degrees. Currently in Eastport at 34. That's what we find at Mount Sinai, and at Smithtown with Northport now at 36 degrees. So we're getting a little preview of some of the brightening sky right now, and tons of it later on. 60 degrees by 1 o'clock. We're headed up to 62. A southerly wind's going to keep coastal spots a little bit cooler. Away from the coast, actually a little bit warmer. Many heading up closer to 70 today again. Fair skies overnight with temperatures slipping into the mid-50s, but really by midnight back into the low 50s. All right, 6:31 right now. It's a slow go. A lot of trouble spots, Adele.
Yeah, a lot of trouble spots. Right now, Turnpike southbound outer roadway. We've been keeping an eye on this pretty much all morning. We've got a serious crash here, taking out a couple of lanes heading into the Goethals Bridge. It's going to be a tight ride. Then those delays are going to continue on. Just past that, you've got the inner roadway as an alternate, also Route 1 or the Parkway instead. And if you are heading on to Route 139 here on that upper level, northbound side heading into Oakland Avenue, we've got an accident there. That blocks the lane. That plus those stoplights, it's definitely going to slow things down for you, especially if you're making that approach into the Holland Tunnel and the FDR Drive southbound by Houston. You've got a crash here as well. Darlene, Gus, back to you.
Adele, thank you.
6:34, and also developing this morning, a federal judge has temporarily blocked the deportation of a former Columbia University student and Palestinian activist. And protests are expected to continue here in New York City as supporters demand his release. Today, New York's Tracy Strahan's now in mornings. Right now, Marie LaRosa checking the weather.
And it's one of those days where if you can get a light jacket on the kiddos before they head out, it's a good thing. It's a little on the cool side, but looks like they're going to peel those layers off later on. Lots of sunshine for lunch and recess, 57 degrees at that point, headed back into the low 60s. We'll not need the umbrella for a bit, but that's not going to be the case heading into the weekend, so I'll time that out coming up in the 10-day.
And a New Jersey woman left.
Tells your NQRW, F, and L trains. You've got delays coming up in a few minutes. We've got an eye on a few crashes causing big delays. Let's take a live look outside right now, though, onto the Gowanus Expressway. Darlene, Gus, it's a tight ride into the Brooklyn Bridge.
Thank you, Adele. Now you can watch Today in New York at 7 a.m. Live local news continues wherever you stream. News 4 will be back. 6:43 right now. A woman in New Jersey was excited about getting a new hair dryer for the holidays, but she felt she was left high and dry after the product stopped working.
Well, better get Piquero turned up the heat. Here's News 4 consumer reporter Linda Piquero. I saw it.
It's kind of like a curling iron that doesn't use the hot plate.
Okay, I've seen
it's more
that.
like with the air, the hot air. Like my daughter could explain the whole mechanics of it because she has one.
Things you learn.
I've got one too. It works nicely. It looks like it'd be scary, like your hair get all crazy, but it's nice. Yeah. There you go.
I appreciate the education. Thank you.
All right, guys. Loving this view. This is like one of my favorite cameras too, especially this time of day where you're getting that hint of sunshine, that sun on its way up via Earth Cam right now. You've got Central Park, which I'm sure will be packed with people today. Another beauty on tap. But time-wise, we're looking pretty good. We've got 11 hours and 45 minutes of daylight. That sunset tonight just before 7 p.m. We got another, let's see, about till mid-September before we see a pre-7 p.m. sunset. But we still have some cool days ahead today, especially along the coast will be the case. From Patchogue, we're looking at the South Shore of Long Island and Connecticut staying in the 50s. Along with that, the Jersey Shore from Asbury Park and Seaside Heights. But you can see from Jackson to Franklin getting closer to 70 degrees. That's because that southerly wind having a little influence here with ocean temps still quite chilly, keeping those temperatures in check. We'll see about 62 degrees at Central Park today, but everyone gets in on that sunshine, so that's a lovely thing. As far as precip chances go, not too much going forward the rest of this week. This is a little blip here that will happen overnight Wednesday into Thursday, so you may not even notice it as everyone is sleeping, maybe wake up to a few damp roadways north of town, and that's it. Otherwise, this is going to be the main event to watch over the next several days, but it's really the end of the weekend. Another big time spring system wrapping up. We're ahead of it, so it's a mild system, relatively speaking, for us, and it is going to be rainy. So I think most of the day on Sunday is looking right now pretty rainy, and on top of that, gusty. We've had a nice little break from the gusty winds. It looks like they'll be back on Sunday as that system really wraps up. Fairlawn 31 right now. We have Morristown at 28 degrees, Ozone Park 39. So jacket required this morning, I think, but think layers just in case you're in that sunshine. It feels pretty nice. 62 degrees the high today with a light southerly wind, and then tonight down to 41 degrees. It looks good tomorrow as well, just a little cooler. We've got an east wind that'll keep those temperatures down into the low 50s. More clouds too Thursday. By Friday, we start that temp turnaround again. It's back to the 60s with rain by Sunday, but dry and mild into next week. All right, 6:47 now. Adele, what's going on?
We've got a lot going on. Let's start things off here in Jersey. Route 139, that's that upper level roadway there heading into the Holland Tunnel right by Oakland Avenue. We've got a crash taking out a lane. That in conjunction with those traffic lights, you can expect to see delays heading back to 1 and 9. Lower level as of right now, still moving along fine. So that would be your alternate there. Making your way over to 78 eastbound over by the Newark Bay Bridge. We do have a crash. It's right on the shoulder, but we're hitting some rubbernecking delays right as you make it over the bridge there. We'll keep a close eye on this as well and let you know when that all wraps up. Turnpike southbound outer roadway, a serious crash involving a tractor trailer heading into the Goethals Bridge. Expect to see a tight ride through the area. Parkway or Route 1 would be your way around it. And the FDR Drive southbound still watching this crash by Houston. Darlene, back to you.
Thank you. It's 6:40 for streaming with us. It is Tuesday, March 11th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
And I'm Gus Rose. Adele in for Michael. Adele watching the commuter alerts out there today. It's Storm Team 4's LaRosa here with the forecast. Nice day taking shape.
A really nice day. I mean, this view is beautiful with clear skies and light winds, so it's very comfortable. Just want to grab that jacket on your way out the door. But as you can see, it's bright already, as always, in Times Square with that sunshine expected all day today. Yeah, the only thing that I could find anywhere in the eastern half of the country is this area of low pressure off the mid-Atlantic coast, and we're not even really seeing clouds from this. So yeah, nice dry radar picture this morning and plenty of sunshine to go. As you can see, temperatures will be climbing out of the 30s and 40s to about 60 degrees at 1 o'clock, and with again light winds and that sunshine, it's going to feel really nice. Right about 62 for the high in the city. It does stay a little bit cooler along the coast. We have a little bit of a southerly influence there off the cool water, so something to keep in mind then. But even still, through late tonight, temperatures are going to be holding in the mid-50s under clear skies. All right, let's get an update on what has been a very tough morning out there, Adele.
Yeah, not easy getting around this morning. Let's start things off here with our LIRR. Just want to give everyone this quick reminder. Ronkonkoma branch buses continue to replace trains. This is running from 7 a.m. out to 6:30. This will be ongoing until May. And then Babylon branch, you've got revised schedules 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. This will be going on until next month. Hitting the roadways right now, Turnpike southbound outer roadway. We've been keeping a close eye on this all morning over by exit 13 for the Goethals Bridge. We've got a serious crash taking out 2 lanes. Darlene, Gus, back to you.
Thank you, Adele. On this Tuesday, Anne Maria, as you said, right, it just takes that one little spark.
Yeah, and the winds were just incredible that day. Thankfully, we don't have the winds, but it's still going to be pretty dry today into the 60s. But you can see it is going to be cooler tomorrow and into Thursday. Excuse me, near 50 degrees. I'll talk about another warm up and the return of a good amount of rainfall coming our way in the 10-day.
Thank you. And still ahead, honoring the life.
Right now, your NR&W trains are suspended between Queens and Manhattan because of signal problems. You've also got delays with your 6B, D, and F trains. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to let you know what's going to slow you down on the roads. Let's take a live look out there right now. If we can take a live look out there, we'll take a live look in a bit. You're watching Today in New York.
Beauty right here, guys. The view from Earth Cam, and you've got the rising sun. Of course, we sprung forward with the clock, so the sun rises are a little bit later, but of course we have that very nice late sunset. Beautiful view of Central Park right there. I expect that's going to be nice and full during the day today because it's a beauty on tap. All right, 11 hours and 45 minutes of daylight. Of course, we continue through the summer solstice, gaining daylight. And again, just before 7 p.m., that sunset to this evening, we won't have to worry about a sunset earlier than 7 p.m. p.m. again until mid-September. So we love that time of year. All right, so we still have a southerly flow, so we're talking about the mild weather, but keep in mind from Patchogue, Riverhead, Amityville, that's just going to have an influence, that cool water having an influence on keeping temperatures there in the 50s. But from Newburgh, Warwick, mid and upper 60s, near 70 in Franklin, Jackson as well, Lacey too. Old Bridge up to 69 degrees today. That's a little bit more removed from that cool water influence. So you want those jackets for sure most of the day, especially if you're going to take in this beauty along the boardwalk, for example. 62 for the high in the city. We're still on the warmer side of a week boundary, but it's just enough that it may touch off by late tomorrow and into early Thursday. A few showers to the north. Not expecting very much out of this. And in fact, overall, a pretty dry week and start to the weekend. Another big system winds up through the Midwest, and that's going to bring back the rain. And really a good chunk of Sunday is going to be pretty rainy, but temperatures will be in the 60s. So it's going to have that spring rain feel for sure. And in fact, on top of that, some very gusty winds. So after a nice break from blustery weather, that will be back by the end of the weekend. So light southerly winds today. We're going to manage 62 degrees by 2 o'clock, still in the mid 50s this evening. We'll dip to about 41 degrees overnight tonight. And yes, it will be cooler, but still above average, believe it or not, Wednesday into Thursday and Friday with highs in the 50s. By Saturday into Sunday, we're back in the 60s, but it's back to rain on Sunday. After that, another little break here, and pleasant with some sunshine that includes for St. Patrick's Day and the parade in the city, temperatures in the 50s. All right, let's get an update on what's been a pretty tough morning, Adele.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy getting around, especially on the turnpike here. We've been watching this crash pretty much all morning. It's on the southbound outer roadway. It does involve a tractor trailer right by exit 13. So heading into the Goethals Bridge, you can see lots of brake lights through here. If you look off into the distance there, that's the inner roadway. You can see traffic is still moving along pretty well through there. So that would be an alternate for you. You can also hop onto the Parkway or Route 1 instead. 139 eastbound over by Oakland Avenue. That's that upper deck of 139. You've got an accident here with delays heading back to routes 1 and 9. This is going to impact your approach into the Holland Tunnel if you're trying to head into the city there. Stick to the covered roadway instead. And then JFK Airport, as a reminder, we've got that long-term construction heading around the terminals there. You're definitely going to want to give yourself some extra time. That's all for now. Back to you, Darlene and Gus.
Thank you very much, Adele.